Welcome back, Arbor League, and today we're going to be taking a look at a team that is underrated but I think does relatively well in the Ultra Premier Cup. My ELO was pretty low from trying new things out, but this team helped me climb back up into the ace range around the 2100s. So like and subscribe and turn notifications on if you enjoy this kind of content, and let's take a look at the team. For the team today, we are running Gallade, Tentacruel, and Heliolisk. And as you've seen on the thumbnail, we have a team rating of DCBB. If this team looks familiar, then you're right. If you've seen my Ultra Annihilate video, this is just the same one swapping Gallade out. Now, Gallade can beat Annihilate, and there are a ton of Poliwrath around. And now with Psycho Cut, it charges so much quicker, so you can outpace all the waters too, like Swampert and Feraligatr to the Leaf Blade. And in Ultra League, Gallade can take a Hydro Cannon and or Scald a little better, but it is still glassy. Now, we are extremely weak to Fireflies on the lead, so that's why we have Tentacruel and Heliolisk in the back to counter them. And as you can see at the bottom here, if you don't have Heliolisk, you can swap out Ampharos, which rates this team just a little bit higher with A for consistency. Heliolisk just does a little bit better against Shadow Clawers like Feraligatr. So the coverage is rated pretty low, but taking a look at PV Poke, the coverage I see is for mons that are not really used, like Bellibolt, Runerigus, Houndstone, Gothitail, etc. So it's either really bad picks or XL Pokemon that not a lot of people have candy or access to, like either say Galvantula or Dragalge. Speaking of core breakers, the only real threats that we have to this team are like Dragalge, Gliscor, and Venusaur on lead. Now you could run Synchronoise on Gallade for that reason, for these poisons, because there's no Venusaur that's going to shield a close combat. So you can one-shot a lot of poison types that way. It just really walls you against part dark types like Drapion or Amok. So taking a Dragon Claw here, but we have enough energy to come in, farm down with the Tentacruel, and all that's left is the Misdreavus, but I don't think it has Thunder or anything like that. And we're pretty safe with the Dark Pulse, and we can get to that Scald, outpace them, and take them out with this Tentacruel. Now, Mismagius is kind of spicy, but we were getting up to the 2100s, so going to get back into the commentary here. Up against this next match, we've got a Machamp that we hard wall, unless they have payback, but they retreat into Greninja. Now, I could have thrown the Leaf Blade there, but I wasn't sure who won CMP. Plus, when they swap in, they get extra energy coming in, so we want to come in here with Heliolisk, which kind of makes sense. We could with Tentacruel, but Heliolisk gets destroyed by Machamp. So we can get a shield here with the Breaking Swipe and the attack drop. So these Water Shurikens will do less, but we need to shield absolutely everything here because Heliolisk is pretty glassy. Now I could have farmed down, but I threw just in case they had another move because Greninja is extremely spammy. So they opt to let it go down, but they actually come in with the Skeledirge here. So I saw a lot of these. They should have come in with the Machamp. And they shield, I guess, respecting potential Bulldoze, but we weren't even close. So we can come in shield advantage here with Tentacruel. And because Machamp doesn't want to see this either, they kind of had to stay in. And the opponent baits with a Disarming Voice. So if you're the Skeledirge in this match, even with shield disadvantage, you just want to go straight Shadow Ball. Because you see Shadow Ball here, I would have needed to shield that second one. So because we hardwall Machamp, they swap, I swap, and we can just go straight for the back-to-back close combats here. Machamp does not have payback, so they just go for the resisted Rock Slide. I guess they could have gotten 2 cross chops off there. But we have back-to-back close combat. So one will take out the Machamp, and the next one will not even close to take out Skeledirge here. We just want to get as much damage off as possible before going down. Then we can come in with Tentacruel here. We've got a Scald ready to go, so nothing is going to matter here. Tentacruel takes the win this time. Hopping into our next match here, we are faced with a Skeledirge on the lead. This is another rough lead for us. But I think my plan here is to count to 3 and catch a Shadow Ball on the Heliolisk. So this is the time of truth. Is the opponent baiting with Disarming Voice? They are not, and we catch a double resisted Shadow Ball. But a Poliwrath comes in to counter us down. I did not think I was going to make that Grass Knot, so I'm baiting here with a Breaking Swipe, getting a shield from the Poliwrath, and a attack drop. pretty good for us. Poliwrath actually goes Ice Punch here, so not have Icy Wind, but they are able to counter us down. Knowing that we can survive anything on Gallade here still from this health range. We have about 2 and a bit Leaf Blade, so taking 1 on the Poliwrath, and we're going to shield a possible Scald, because now we're in the yellow. But opponent just goes Ice Punch again, and we Psycho Cut all the way down and leave with back-to-back close combats. And as we saw before, it's not even close to tickling Skeledirge, but we have to get this off. And we're able to save a bunch of energy as a switch clock comes up, and we go 1-to-1 shields with a Feraligatr. So if Feraligatr has Crunch, which they do not, they are probably stuck on Ice Beam here. So this match is a little bit more comfortable for us, as our Poison Gems are doing a lot more than their Shadow Claws, and they just let a Sludge Wave go through. So we can let this next one go through as well and save the shield for the Skeledirge. Tentacruel will also come out with a massive amount of energy here. So we're able to get to 1.5 Scalds, and probably going to shield this up, make back-to-back Scalds, and try to catch something on Gallade, because they still have a shield as well. So 1 more Scald, and I think that may have been a CMP tie, but I wasn't too sure. Scald getting the first shield, but it was not, and the opponent was greedy and overfarmed. Gallade throwing the close combat, not quite taking out the Skeledirge, and they overfarm again, and Leaf Blade coming through. Question is this enough to take out the Skeledirge? Yes, it is. Gallade, a Skeledirge counter confirmed. Hopping into the next match here, Gallade up against a Venusaur, as I said, which is really rough. So my plan for the Venu leads is to just close combat and either dip, or I was just seeing for science how much this one did, and it did a sizable amount of energy at being resisted. So, because Gallade is a glass cannon, so it just hits like a truck. It just can't take a hit. So because we are debuffed, we have to shield this next close combat. I was trying to catch a Frenzy on the Cruel here, but this next close combat gets a shield, so good for us that we got 1-to-1. We get outpaced, but I can safely let Gallade go down here and come in with Tentacruel and make this much more comfortable of a matchup. But Venusaur will get off 1 more Frenzy Plant here, but Tentacruel is pretty bulky and able to take it. We might have to shield the next one, but we're able to farm down. So we still have 2 more Pokemon, and it's a Walrein, so I'm usually calling water behind the grass types. So we're going to go straight Sludge Wave here, and they always no shield. The Feraligatrs no shield. The Walreins no shield. So they're doing a massive amount of
emotional damage.
Not baiting on this channel anymore. But the opponent didn't learn their lesson, so now they're going to have to shield a Scald, because this next Icicle Spear will not KO the Tentacruel. And there's no reason to go for the Earthquake. So we will be able to get possibly another shield here, because this Scald will not KO, but we snipe with a Volt Switch. So Helios getting ahead on energy for the Swampert that comes in. So we do survive a Hydro Cannon. We just have to be really careful here. And that's why I like Helios, because it does win CMP up against a lot of things, getting a shield from the Swampert, and we're most likely going to be able to make this next Grass Knot here. We might have to eat a Hydro Cannon. First one coming through. Second one is going to come through. Heliolisk is pretty glassy, but can we take this Hydro Cannon? Yes, we can. And we're able to get this Grass Knot off. And it being 4 times effective is going to take out a colony of Swamperts. Goodbye. Get out of here. And we take that game. Hopping into the next match here, up against the Autobots, we have Pidgeot on the lead, so we have to safe swap into Tentacruel here because we want to realign with the Heliolisk. Because Heliolisk is such a hard counter to the Pidgeot, we want to maintain switch as much as possible. So they Brave Bird and dip, but we are faced with a Feraligatr. So we're going straight Sludge Wave again. Do they no shield? Yes, they do. And we're probably going to lose this one because now the Shadow Claws are adding up. I was debating shielding that, but I'm going to shield this one up just so I can get the next Scald off or farm down. But Feraligatr gets the 2, and I will double shield because switch is important, as I was saying. So when you have such a hard wall like that, you do want to maintain switch because Pidgeot cannot touch Heliolisk. Even despite it being glassy, they will have to debuff themselves with the Brave Bird. So we get a shield with the Pidgeot here, which is pretty good, but we get farmed down. So we're obviously going to come back in here with the Heliolisk. We just have to see what they have in the back. So Pidgeot will to go for the Brave Bird here because shields are down. Brave Bird does about half of Heliolisk's health, so we quickly swap into Gallade, but the Magnezone was just too much ahead of energy for us and a shield, so they actually go Wild Charge here, take us out, and even if they no-shield everything here, this is GG's. But we're going to go Grass Knot just in case they no-shield, and they respect the potential Bulldoze. So I actually may have been able to win this if I baited here. I just thought this was over because now we get a Breaking Swipe off, so we did have enough energy, whereas if we did bait, we could have won. Magnezone debuffed themselves, but we take that loss. So we're going to do a battle bonus battle here because that was a 4-1, but we're gonna try to recover with this. So we're same kind of plan here. I think I might actually close combat and dip this time because they shield. So we're gonna dip into Tentacruel here and they're staying in. That makes this more comfortable of a matchup for us because we have shield advantage. The Frenzy Plant still going to hit a little bit, and they retreat with some energy, and an Empoleon comes in, and we still have shield advantage. So because they're running Steel Wing, even Waterfall here is resisted, but it does less than Waterfall. We can safely shield up these Drill Pecks and just go straight for the Scald, because both charge moves here are resisted, but you want to go for Scald because we just got that debuff. So because we just got that debuff, we are going to be getting to this next Scald here. We do lose CMP, so the opponent is over farming, and they get debuffed again. So the opponent's still over farming. We might be getting a shield here with the third Scald, and we do. So Empoleon just cannot farm down. These are double resisted, triple debuffed Steel Wings, and the Drill Peck still does not KO. We do not make that fourth Scald, unfortunately, but we can come in here and take this Hydro Cannon on Heliolisk. Opponent actually goes for the Drill Peck, so that was triple debuffed, double resisted Drill Peck on the Heliolisk. So anyways, we come in here with there's a Walrein, and this is looking like GG's. So I think I'm just going to go straight Grass Knot here because I can outpace the next Grass Knot and just shield up a potential Earthquake, but they let it go through. Heliolisk doing a massive amount of damage with that non-stab Grass Knot, so I'm opting to let it go, and they bait. Volt Switch goes through, and we get Gallade onto the Venusaur yet again. So because Gallade is a Glass Cannon, I am going to shield this up, get to this close combat here, and I think if I can get to 2 moves on Gallade here, but we have 1 stored on Heliolisk. Close combat, not quite getting taken care of the Venusaur here, so we will be going down to a plant, but we can farm down with the Heliolisk. Heliolisk is a Venusaur counter confirmed. So as I said earlier, getting that 4-1 with the bonus battle and your favorite part of the show, a Skwovet for a reward. Of course, we have to end it that way, but this team was extremely fun to run, and now with Psycho Cut's energy gain, it makes Gallade very viable for more condensed metas like this, and as long as you save shields for your glass cannons or find a bulkier option, I'm sure you'll have fun running this team too. If you're enjoying the content, leave a comment and tell me what you think. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn notifications on. It really helps me out, keeps me in the algorithm, and lets you know when I post, because there will be much more Pokemon Go content to come. But that's all I've got for today, guys. Thank you again, everyone, so much for watching. I've been Arbor Andy. Keep your sticks on the ice, and I'll see you buds in the next one. For this team today, as you've seen in For this team today, we are running Gallade, Tentacruel, and Heliolisk. As you've seen the rating in the thumbnail, we do have DCBB. If the